for letting me stop by and talk for a few minutes. I appreciate the chance to visit with you. I know all of you had other things to do today, and I appreciate your time being here. Lord, thanks for the history lesson. I appreciate that very much. Being a fan of world history, of course, Texas history. I love hearing about things about people, because history is about people, whether they're in Texas or whether they're in Pakistan. And we do things today as a nation based upon the history of peoples throughout the world. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, my name is Ted Poe. 6 letters in my whole name. It's relatively easy to pronounce. So when you introduce yourself to me, talk real slow so that I understand your name. And you may have to repeat it. I apologize for not understanding names frequently, but you know, when you have 6 letters in your whole name, you just wish other people just had 6 letters in their whole name. But thank you, and repeat your name to me, because I want to know you on a personal basis. Second thing I want to tell you is that I appreciate the fact that I got to meet several of you in Beaumont, I guess a couple of months ago, and explain to me some of the issues that you're concerned about in Volusia. A little bit about me. I am from Texas. You know, it's a foreign country as well. Especially if you talk to other people in the United States, they think Texas is a foreign country. But I grew up here in Houston. Spent all my life here except when I was going to college. And I became a lawyer and a prosecutor down at the district attorney's office here in Houston. And I tried criminal cases for a long time, 8 years. And then I decided that I wanted to move in a different direction and become a judge. And so I was a judge here in Houston for about 22 years. During that time, the most important thing to me was that justice must occur in every situation. Whatever your definition of justice is, we must have justice. Whether it's with one person, a group of people, or a community of people. Justice must occur in every situation, no matter what it is. And so that is a big issue with me now that I have left being a judge and I serve in the United States Congress. We look to our Constitution as the document of freedom and liberty in this country. It's a great document. It's a well-written document. But throughout that document, even though the word is never mentioned, it is a document of justice. The way that we are treated by government and the way we treat government. It is to be a just system between us and our government. Our philosophy in the United States, and I think the philosophy of people throughout the world, not just those that live now, but have lived before us, is that people seek to have personal liberty, that they have individual liberty and self-worth, that people really are more important than government. Government should serve us. We shouldn't be slaves to government. That's the philosophy in our Constitution. Most peoples who have lived throughout the world in history did not have liberty, did not have freedom. They had the government oppressing them in some manner. And it is only recently, in modern times, where peoples are beginning to seek and have liberty. And that includes not only personal liberty, but economic liberty. Now, many years ago, I had the chance to be in the Soviet Union, the Union of Socialist Republics, the Soviet Socialist Republic. And I saw how a government oppressed the peoples in the Soviet Union. And it was the worst place on earth because of the fact that government ran roughshod over the citizens there. Even though the wall, the Iron Curtain, has come down, to some extent, the people in the former Soviet republics seem to be oppressed. I've been to them. But let's back up and talk about some things on a narrower scale. So when I went to Congress, I became a member of the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee deals with all issues of crime and punishment, immigration, anything that follows basic law and laws in the United States and abroad. Also, I'm a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I serve on most of the subcommittees in the Foreign Affairs Committee. Two of those that may interest you, I serve on the Terrorism Subcommittee and the Oversight Subcommittee. Oversight is to see and make sure that we as a subcommittee in Foreign Affairs watch how American money is being spent throughout the world. So because of the fact I serve on the Terrorism Subcommittee and I serve on the Oversight Subcommittee, I've had a chance to travel overseas frequently. I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan numerous times because we've got American troops fighting in Afghanistan now and formerly in Iraq. And I've been to other places as well. But I've also been to Pakistan. I don't know if I'll be allowed to go back to Pakistan anytime soon because I have been very vocal about the things that are taking place in Pakistan and America's relationship with Pakistan. I appreciate the fact that you mentioned that you are Americans of Pakistani descent. You know, but you also understand where you live. You live in Texas. So you're Texas Americans of Pakistani descent. I think Texas is the greatest place on earth, personally. How y'all ended up here, or your families before you ended up in Texas, that was a great decision to be made. And of course, I love Texas. But a couple of things about America's relationship with Pakistan. As you know, the United States and Pakistan have had recently an uneasy relationship with what, I mean, that's the best way to describe it, an uneasy relationship. I won't say that a divorce is imminent, but it could be, you know, it could be. But the United States and Pakistan have had an off and on good relationship since 1947. The United States, of course, supported independence of Pakistan and recognized Pakistan as a nation. But as the years have progressed, it seems to be that turmoil in Pakistan affects the relationship with the United States. Recently, there's been talk in Washington about and concerned about the fact that the money that the United States gives to Pakistan for aiding the people, whether it's floods or food or for really fighting the Taliban, that money doesn't end up going to where it's supposed to go. And justice demands that the money that you send to Pakistan, whether we intended to go to the flooding, to food, or to actually the fight on war on terror, ends up in those locations. It doesn't end up in the pockets of the military or someone else, even the Taliban. And that has been a problem with the United States and the Pakistan government's relationship. And I want to make sure that's clear. It's a relationship with our government and the Pakistani government, because I think Americans still have a kindred spirit, if I could use that phrase, with the peoples of Pakistan. That's a different issue, how we as a people relate to people as opposed to government relating to government. The Foreign Affairs Committee that I serve on happens to also deal with human rights. I am a big believer that those principles in the Declaration of Independence that are quoted in that speech there that you have on your table in the Declaration of Independence, those are basic human rights. They're not just rights for Americans. They're rights that all peoples have had, even though many times they haven't been able to exercise those rights. And those rights are explained by Thomas Jefferson when he says that all men and women are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And governments are instituted, are made to make sure those rights are protected. See, I believe that philosophy. And I think that philosophy applies in the United States. It applies anywhere else in the world. And governments should be accountable to the peoples that put them there. They should be responsible to the people and do what the people want them to do.